Hey guys, welcome back to Pipe Hitters Performance. Lately been getting really pinged on a lot of quad tendonitis pain and how we can avoid that, especially going into our workout. So I'm just going to give you a little brief mobility that I like to do before I do my activation drills. So just trying to diminish that pain. If you have any type of clicking, popping, or just that onset of really sharp pain when you bend the knee, this is a great mobility drills that I like to do before I get going. So first thing, previous video called the couch stretch. So what we'll do, bring the knee right into the wall, swing the leg around. Again, we're trying to work full extension of the hip. So we're just trying to relax this hip, drop the hip, get squared up. We'll spend about anywhere from a minute to 30 seconds in this position. When you're done with that, you'll get to the second position. I like to use a foam roller kind of as a balance. So this upright position, again, another minute to about 30 seconds. You can take it into an overhead position. As long as you're not getting into this hyperextended position, you're fine. If you want to get overhead lean, try to scour back and forth and find that area of pain or discomfort. So there's your positions there for the couch stretch. After that, I like to take it right into some foam rolling or trigger point rolling. And if you're gonna do traditional foam rolling, I like to do 30 passes on the quad. So what that'll look like is just all the way up, all the way down, for about 30 total reps. Now, my guys that have been foam rolling for quite a while, your body kind of gets used to this. Guys with larger quads, larger trigger points, this might not be the best tool for you. So if you want to get a little bit more invasive, I really prefer the quad baller by Trigger Point. I think it's a great little tool. And also the how you use it is a little bit different than the traditional roller. So what I like to do is start right above the kneecap, right here. And you gotta have this idea that we're gonna work in sections. So we're only gonna piece out a little bit in distance. So what I'm gonna do is only move on the exhalation. So I'm just gonna take a deep breath in. And during that exhalation, I'll move up 2 to 3 inches and then come back 1 to 2 inches. So we cover a little ground up, cover a little ground back. And what I'll do now on exhalation is just crank the knee a little bit. And if you want, I can kind of waddle the leg on exhalation. So once I go through that, I'll piece another section. 3 inches forward, 2 inches back, crank the knee, crank the knee, crank the knee. Exhale with a little waddle, and I'll work all the way up the hip. So again, that's about 2 minutes each side. And then the last kind of the icing on the cake is the voodoo bands. So what I'll do with the voodoo bands is I'll start right above the patella. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put about 70% stretch on this. Start right above the patella, and I'm gonna overlap it once. I'm gonna trace that path again, go right over top. And then from here on out, it's kind of like cutting the grass. Half of this band is still gonna be on the red, and the other half of the band will be on fresh skin. So at about 70-75%, I'm gonna cover about 4 to 6 inches right up that initial part of the quad, covering that tendon as well. Once I've kind of hit that initial space, I'll overlap back down at about 85 to 90% stretch, so it's gonna be a little bit more tight. I like to have my thumb in place so that I can snap this thing securely, ready to go. I have a pretty high tolerance for these. It's actually been a while though since I've used it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other leg too, because I don't wanna waste my time. Okay, so I got these secure. I want to stand up. You'll notice the most discomfort is when you're in this full extension here at the knee joint. So from here we have a multitude of options. For most of us, we're going to be doing this before a squat or an Olympic workout, so to speak. So what I like to do is just kind of mimic the position I'm about to address with load. So what I'll do is I'll just start my squatting protocol, which is I like to do a couple of sissy squats first, half squats, just to kind of get used to this. And then once I'm used to it, I can kind of drop into my full squats. After a couple of full squats, I'll drop into a full squat hold. And in this position, I can kind of shift back and forth a little bit. For some of us, this is going to create enough pain and enough compression that some of you might need a pole in front of you to get into this position, something to kind of stabilize and counteract all this compression that's going on at the knee. Stand up, that extension sucks. Come back down, hold again. Now, you don't have to just do squatting. I can get into some lunge matrix work with this depending on how comfortable this is for me. But I will say I don't like anyone keeping this on for over 2 to 3 minutes. That's really all you need. And the beautiful thing about flossing, you kind of get that immediate feedback. You get that initial surge of blood that comes into the area. Everything feels great. Work this segment out to kind of loosen up all your areas. And like I tell everyone, you have just got rid of your pain. You probably feel a lot better. You probably move a lot better. That's not enough to just start going into your squats. We need to activate the proper muscles before heading into the squat. So that's anything from clamshells to glute bridges, maybe more body weight squats. We need to stabilize and cement this mobility we've just got. So that's all I got for you today.